I'm certified to teach K through 12, kindergarten through 12th grade, because that's a certification for business, computers, and information technology. All my experience has been with high school, which I prefer, and that's what I teach now. I like teaching high school because there are a lot of personalities in high school, and I really enjoy it because I think that students at that age are on the brink of big success, and they're preparing for their future and their adulthood. And I find this, it has its challenges as well, but I find it a very exciting time in life, and I love being a part of that. As well, I feel that that I have a lot to offer as far as lessons in life, aside from lessons in academics, that I find very appealing in pertaining to young adults. A typical day for teaching for me is I personally like to show up at work about an hour early. This gives me time to prepare and lay out my day. I can answer emails and do administrative work, and as well I can write any lessons on the board or make copies that we might need for class. And I like to give myself time to get started before the students start arriving. And I like to be available if students arrive early or need extra help. I'm there then. Then the typical day is the lessons begin, and class time begins. And during prep periods as well, this is used for grading and preparing for lessons if you're lucky. But I find that during prep periods, it's mostly one-on-one student interaction. Sometimes you're recording grades, or you're contacting parents, or you're putting grades into the computer system. Then the day ends with, I typically spend a couple hours lesson planning for the following day. No day is really typical, so I like to do as much outside of the classroom before the day or after the day in order to provide some sort of structure, because you never know what's going to happen during the day. Typically, especially during the school year, the teacher day is about 10 hours a day, and that's the day that I just explained. So each day is spent preparing for the next day. And then on Sundays, I typically prepare for the week, just to give myself a map for how the week's going to go. And then on any extended breaks, I like to do long-range curriculum planning. Why I became a teacher was I love students, I love learning, and the best part of the job is that I love learning something and then passing on that knowledge. I also enjoy the many different personalities and different strengths and interests and learning styles of different students. So I think that's what makes each day atypical instead of typical, because whatever can occur in one class can be completely different in another class. But like I said, I love the age group, and I really love interacting with this age group. One of my learning styles and working styles is that I love to take on projects and see them through, and then see an accomplished result. So this is something that I think is innate with me, and then I bring into teaching, and I really love taking on a curriculum unit and seeing it through to the end with the goals, and then seeing the successful outcomes. But what I did find that adds to that is that the students and the different turns that can occur during this process brings fulfillment to me. And this changing environment actually keeps me energized as well. I did find out that something that I didn't expect is that on my evening drives home, that I spent a lot of time reflecting on what occurred that day, and different learning styles of students, and how I can approach things differently, and maybe how I need to be more creative either in my delivery or in my understanding of students. So I know that because of the fact that I can spend my downtime doing such a thing, that I am in the right profession. The one thing that I didn't expect initially to get out of teaching was the sense of community. I like that you can see different students and who is related to whom and who is friends with whom, and it just brings the whole community together, and you get that community feel, and you become embedded and invested in that. In closing, I want to say that teaching is very challenging. It can be very difficult. I think that if you can bring, as a teacher, your own strengths and interests, and if you have a real investment in students, that hopefully it's not so much a job, but a career and a rewarding task that you take on for many years.